Yo, what's up? What's good? What's good? What's good? Now, I wanted to get this out before. I don't know how this is working. I don't know if notifications is going out. Been having a lot of technical issues lately. Um, Morning, I see y'all. Yeah, it's been a lot of technical issues. Now, B Son said he got his notification. That's great. We just got to make sure that it's getting out the way it's supposed to. The sound, they've been messing with the sound. It's been mad crazy over the last oh, definitely. It's been a mess dealing with it, but we keep moving forward. Now, many of you know, and I probably didn't pay a lot of attention to it, but I did cover the case that was going on with the o.m.g girls and LOL surprise. Now, this the o.m.g girls. That's their group that they created with Ti's daughter and her friends, and they came out with all these designs that Tiny did herself, custom designs that she came up with ideas, with hairstyles, electric fashion, all these different personalities in them, and that Ti and family felt that these traits were copied by the doll company, and MGA Entertainment um, basically copied all their stuff, right? Now, the group was formed in 2009 legitimately, right? The dolls went to market a decade later by MGA. Now, MGA as a company has been around before the group existed, but the LLL Surprise dolls came out about 10 years later. See, T.I. originally served the company with a cease and desist letter in 2020 in response to, MG filed its own lawsuit against them in the process. In January, T.I. and Tiny lawyers accused him of racial cultural appropriation. That's what they called it. As the style of the group, their designs, it was a direct reflection of the popular dress in the Black community at that time. The move resulted in a mistrial. The pursuit, they had proceedings, I think that was like a month later. And I remember the jury decided that the doll company had done no harm in creating the doll. And Isaac Larian, who is the CEO of the company, he vehemently agreed, calling the move by T.I. and his family a shakedown. And they said, well, I'm not happy with it because I lost a lot of time and energy, my employees' time and energy, to deal with an extortion case. They knew from the beginning they didn't have a case. They brought it up anyway and they picked on the wrong guy. So he's out to sue them, countersue them to get his time and money back from T.I. and Tiny now that the case is over. Now, for MGM, it was a case of the matter of actual ownership. You see, Jennifer Keller, who was their lawyer for MGA, She argued that the trademark of the name of that group had expired when the group disbanded in 2018. When they formally disbanded in 2018, the o.m.g girls, the trademark for that name and group had expired. That's the reason they lost this case. Okay. And thanks to Tiny, the o.m.g girls, they were signed with Interscope Records. They had the Gucci this, Gucci that song, that's like my little cousins then was listening to and all that stuff. And that was on the Billboard charts back in the Hot 100 songs and all that. That was in like 2012, around that time. Right? Right. So now when you see all that, you have to ask yourself, what are you going to do after the fact? They were told this and they still wanted to sue. So they used the popularity of this lawsuit, but now they're gonna have to pay millions to MGA in a counter lawsuit because the o.m.g girls it expired. So this is why I try to tell people, make sure you have all your X's and O's together before you come. They had a case. They had a very serious case because if you look at it, it is a copy of the o.m.g girls. It is an exact copy of them, totally plagiarized from the costume designs of the dolls is made based on them. So it is a complete ripoff. I forgot about that dream. Please let that dream fade away fast. Now, I bet you this was T.I.'s doing and not Tiny's doing. Tiny probably recognized it. T.I. saw the dollar sign and tried to force something to happen. But yeah, baby, I tell you, they know they guilty. They just gonna settle out of court. All we gotta do is just push this thing to court, and they gonna feel the pressure, and they gonna cave in, baby. I don't know about it, Tip. Tip, I don't know about them people now. Them people got a lot of money, Tip. I don't know about all that and doing all that. Nah, I told you this is my part of it. I know what I'm doing here. See, all we had to do is jogatize all of this down and we will allogitate a plan. And when we do that and execute, they gonna get nervous and they gonna pay us out. They ain't gonna want this to go to no trial. Well, they did go to trial. They didn't pay out. They didn't agree to a settlement. Not only did he have to update the registration, the group disbanded. In 2018, the group was gone, but they could have re-registered and kept the group's trademark. They let it expire. See, the dolls didn't come out till about 10 years later. People forget how old the o.m.g girls are. Like, people think like that was yesterday. That was like 2009. And that cost them about 100 mil. They would have won this lawsuit. had that been the case. So again, we do these moments so that people can learn from them, so that in the future they can expeditiously take care of the business at hand. T.I. was told. I remember he was told not to pursue this. Somebody told him not to pursue it, and he still decided to do it. Yeah. Jay didn't know too much about it, but they had a law firm in there. He was telling Jay about it. And Hove told him some very good information. Hove told him, I wouldn't be discussing this case publicly with anybody. This is a very big deal. You talking 9 figures almost. So, you kind of might want to keep that to yourself. And your lawyers, don't even discuss it with me. I don't really want to know it, Tip. I would kind of keep that information to yourself. I'm just saying, if you provide the lawyers and everything, me and my wife, Tiny, and everything, we got all our ducks in the row. They gonna settle. These big giant companies, they know what they did. They know they ripped off everything we got. Now they gonna settle. Now all I need you to do is provide the lawyers, and I will expeditiously pay you for your time. That's all. Trust me, it's gonna be easy. Well, it wasn't easy. Didn't go that way. And now T.I. is finna lose even more money because the CEO, Isaac, is getting ready to sue. He's finna counter sue T.I. and Tiny for wasting his time and taking him to trial, and all the money that was spent on his case. T.I.'s lawyer tried to argue that in these cases, you can't say, yeah, they got to pay for my lawyers and everything else. But yes, you can. This is a trademark case. So in a trademark case, they're thinking like a criminal case where they got to pay for the other guy's lawyers and all that. This is a trademark case, which in a trademark case, your lawyer should have informed you that if you lose, they can countersue you and make you have to pay their lawyer fees for all their time. So they got to pay. They're suing them for about $6 million in lawyer fees plus damages. So T.I. and Tiny are finna be in a bigger hole. Mm-hmm. Yep. They're into a bigger situation. And it hurts because they had to learn the hard way about plagiarism and work being taken from you. That's a hard pill to swallow when you see somebody take something of yours and make millions of dollars off of it when they have nothing to do with the creative process or anything. Well, it's a bit of a difficult situation when you see how it's played out in its totality. I see a lot of people got in the way and interfered when they should have just stepped to the side. yes, thanks to everybody that hit up the Cash App and supported the page. Everybody who showed love to the page, I appreciate that. The Cash App is Carceno, by the way. Oh wow, great. Well, when you have different people, you have all these different philosophies that come up to play. You have all these different characters that are involved in the play, and they keep saying a bunch of different crap every single day. So now it's up to you to mask that, right? It's up to you to point people in the direction. Hmm. Right. You got to have all your ducks in a row. You have to be protected all the way around the board. You have to almost be a lawyer yourself. But this is why you need second opinions, third opinions. Now, T.I.'s lawyers should have informed him that if he lost this lawsuit, he could possibly be sued by the plaintiffs or by the defendants in the case. Everything looks insane at that point. Well, when people make up their mind of what they want to do and what they decide to do or how they feel, yeah, yeah, that's how I felt. His Carcino, my YouTube name, like WWE. In a way, I guess. No, they made these mistakes. Ti and Tiny's been making these mistakes their entire life, um, and it's mostly Ti bringing Tiny down. You know, him keeping her insecure, all of this stuff. Now, Jennifer Keller, who's their lawyer, the trademarks, and when they expire, they have a team of lawyers at MGM, that they keep on retainer. So MGA, the toy company, has definitely talked to their team about trademarks and infringing and copying. So if you're going to copy somebody, you got to know what you're doing in the process to protect yourself. That's like a thief. If you're going to break into a house and steal something, you're going to make sure that you're not on camera. You're going to make sure you're covering your face. You're going to make sure. So if you're doing something illegal, you're going to make sure you covered your bases to where it ain't going to stick back to you. And that's basically what MGA was doing. It's like, look, we know what we did, but it was legal because y'all didn't do what y'all was supposed to do. And that was it. It took them less than 2 hours of deliberating with all this evidence that was presented to go back and say, well, you didn't have your trans that expired. So this shouldn't even have went to trial. But since it did, now we got to deal with it. They're facing $6 million lawsuit plus damages. Well, this is under California law. Mm-hmm. Well, they decided the toy makers did not steal the name and likeness of the o.m.g girls. And MGA demanded the repayment for the legal fees, like I told you. And they can do that. They court filed it. And when they did that, T.I.'s lawyer tried to say, hey, you can't do that in this case. I'm like, what kind of lawyer you got? Because this is a trademark case. In a trademark case, you can sue the other person. I don't know how they didn't know that. You can sue the other person for damages and say, hey, you took my time. This was a frivolous lawsuit. You knew before you started that you didn't have a case and this, and you pursued it. You took my time, money, my lawyers. You got to pay my legal fees. Oh, yeah, you definitely can sue that. Court filing costs, legal fees, and his lawyers are going to be expensive. And they were going to make it expensive. So $6 million is what they got to pay out. 6.1. Well, they got a mistrial as an example of what made the case exceptional. They introduced inadmissible testimony at the original trial that was in January, forcing the lawsuit to be relegitimated, right? So MGM believed the companies like T.I. and Tiny doing this litigation tactic, overreaching claims of misconduct that justified about $6.1 million. See, back in January when they did that, it shouldn't have never happened. So it was inadmissible evidence that they brought into the trial that shouldn't even have been. So that was the first hearing before it got to a trial. So that's when it made a mistrial situation happen. So now that the results is over of this case, they're facing, not only did they get nothing out of it, they have to pay their own legal fees, which should be somewhere within the millions. Then after that, they have to pay the other person's lawyers, which is in the millions. About six, he's suing for $6.1 million. Um, the real estate scam, well, with Caesar them, oh well, that's another case in which you see firsthand how ignorance works. He said bankruptcy court it is. I told people all the rage. They wanted me to get involved in that. The Envy and Caesar thing and the real estate knew right away. They wanted me to get a part of it. Envy is lucky if he doesn't get charged in this because he's definitely on the ropes because he was influencing people to join up with Caesar. Now Caesar been stealing money and doing what he's supposed to do and go out of the country because he know he has dual citizenship, so he could do it. But now he's gonna go. He ain't gonna come back to the country and get served. He's gonna stay out of the country. He took the money and he ran. They got places here in Chicago as well. Hit them up. They'll go to places like Inglewood and get these low income houses, fix them up, and then put them back on the market. Do some renovations and put them back out there and get them quickly sold and get them facilitated mostly with government Section 8 houses. Of course, Caesar ran. Caesar ain't still in Jersey, dog. Trust me. Caesar ran. Caesar took off, went out of the country, went to like Colombia or whatever the hell he's from. If he comes back, he's stupid. Dog, Caesar ran. He went, I know he went overseas. He took that money and he went overseas. If he came back to Jersey, it's because he lawyered up. And I don't think that's a smart idea. I ain't say he's getting locked up. He can get charged. They're gonna have him turn on Caesar. He would have to turn on Caesar and say, "Hey, this is what I know." He's gonna have to testify because he brought a lot of people's money in it, and a lot of people would be upset that they did this because of Envy. Envy came and did seminars here in Chicago. Him and Caesar got on stage trying to get people to pool their money together in a mutual fund, basically, to invest in properties. Other people have done this, and they just weren't as crooked as them. Like Damian John from Shark Tank tried to do the same tactic. I went to Vegas thinking I'm going to sit down with Damian John and his team. He wasn't even there. I'm sitting down with his team. So it was an entirely crazy situation that I said I would be stupid to get involved in this because I'm just throwing money away. I don't know this guy across from me. I don't want my money tied up with him. I don't know him. Who is he? I'm Bob the electrician, and my money ain't supposed to be the same. No, our monies are not the same. So why am I going to be putting up all the risk for Damian John, who's putting up no money? We're all the money in this situation. And his team is going to just help us get money with our money, and then he's getting money without taking any risk. That's stupid. No, I'll be dumb to do that. Caesar was out of the country when the allegations were actually brought up. He was actually out of the country, and they were trying to contact him. He was gone. He was a ghost in the wind. So Caesar's been moving out of the country. So trust me, he gonna be like gone. So everybody think he in Jersey. That's what he wants you to think. Caesar finna get up. Well, that's why you can't believe in any of it. Caesar is definitely not Caesar of Rome. Oh, Caesar's crazy. There's too much money on the table. Somebody to be thinking about and they ain't actually grabbing. No, I didn't get involved with DJ Envy's thing. It sounded good. Now, I'm not mad at anybody that signed up. Sounded pretty, but I wouldn't have gotten involved. He was more like the pitch man. All right, you up and at 'em.
Yes, Kevin.
No, I was down in the basement. I've been up since like 6:30. Yep. It's mom's last day.
Last day of business. I'll say last day.
I didn't even get a chance to finish talking. I should have said mom's last day here. Again, I didn't even get a chance to finish talking. It's mom's last day here. She's flying back to she's flying back to Tampa and leaving us. Yeah, she's probably birthdayed out right now. Well, no, I had the house back. So you get the house back. No, I had the house. I just didn't do a lot of streams. I feel bad for those people that lost the money though. Well, how Ti and Tiny they tried to. It was basically an extortion play. The whole the whole lawsuit that they pressed. The only way they were going to get money is if the other side decided that they were going to settle the case out of court. That was the only way they can get money. That was it. They should have known. And then, I don't know who lawyers, they law firm should have told them in advance that they could be sued. It's a trademark lawsuit. So in a trademark lawsuit, the other side can sue you for damages or pay their lawyer fees. That can happen if you lose that case in a trademark situation. So I don't know what they were thinking about. They let the trademark expire. That's on them. They let the trademark expire. How you gonna let the trademark expire, then go in there and try to sue somebody for $100 million, and you didn't do what you were supposed to do? You lost, wasted all those people time, and they legitimately had a lawsuit because they totally ripped them off. But that group disbanded in 2018. So you can't sue somebody for $100 million and you haven't kept the group together. Those people waited exclusively till that trademark was available, and then they did what they did, and then they took everything. Those LOL surprise dolls. Ma,
But
what time you want to leave out?
my flight is at 1:40.
Oh, in the afternoon? Oh, you got plenty of time. I thought it was this morning. Do you remember those LOL dolls?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, T.I. and Tiny sued them because they stole from their group, the o.m.g girls. That's who they based those dolls off of.
Get out of
Yeah, they were right. They did.
here. Did they win?
Of course they didn't, because they was dumb and let the group, because they didn't come out with those dolls till like 2020. So that group was in 2009. So 10 years later, the trademark expired in 2018. And then they're going to still try to sue and take this thing to court. Even though they were right, them dolls is, and Tiny, she did custom, like make those outfits custom for them. And she's like, they even stole the designs. And she was telling the truth. They definitely did that. I'm looking at that. I'm like, yeah, that's why I think it's the o.m.g girl. They call them the LOL surprise. And they lost because of that trademark expired. The group disbanded in 2018, and the trademark expired 10 years prior. They did not like re-register the trademark. If they'd have did that, then they could have sued. But that other company, I doubt they would have done that, because they would have definitely lost that lawsuit if they had that paperwork. That's why it's important. Gotta have the paperwork. The Bratz dolls and the LOL surprise dolls, the Brat dolls are nothing like that. These are entirely different. No, this is a trademark issue, and the trademark expired. So that was it. No, T.I.'s lawyers. I don't know who was his lawyer. Did he have Bert and Ernie? Because now the owner of the company is suing them to pay the lawsuit. So they lawyers that had to be about 6-7 million. Now they got to pay 6-7 million back. So they got to pay their own lawyers, which is about 5-6 million. Then they got to pay another 6.1 for his lawyers in court fee. Yep. All right. Well, let me get situated. All right. Yeah. So that's what happened. Yep. 12 million that they don't have because they ain't got that.